What is going on, guys? MMA Island team. We got the fight picks, and we got possibly my favorite card or my favorite fight to in this card. We got Andre Muniz taking on Bartosz Fabinski. I think I'm starting off this one.
Yeah,
So
you are. Go ahead.
I will talk about this one and start off by saying, man, I'm a rare breed. I will say it because most people love the striking games. And man, I am a grappling type of guy. I love to watch the grappling game. And when you look at Bartosz Fabinski and see that he's got 0 submissions and 2 submissions, you must think, oh man, he has a terrible ground game. Watch some of this dude's fights because this dude is the type of guy to take you down and beat you down. And looking at Andre Muniz is the type of guy to take you down or get taken down and submit you. So it's just it's a really, really nice like combination of grappling. So something tells me that this is just going to end up being a striking battle, and I'm going to be disappointed. But hopefully it isn't, and hopefully it's a grappling matchup. So let's talk about this whole grappling exchanges. So looking into this, takedown averages per 15 minutes. In Bartosz Fabinski's 4 fights in the UFC, he averages 7.17 takedowns per 15 minutes, which is crazy. Looking at his striking has some pretty good numbers. At 2.2 landed per minute, not crazily high, but at 70% accuracy, 53% defense. Higher accuracy and higher defense with just a little bit less output and less absorbed per minute than Muniz. And then looking at that ground game. So I watched Andre Muniz's fight in Dana White Contender Series. It was against Taylor Johnson, and Taylor Johnson just put the pressure on him, pretty much how I would like to see Bartosz Fabinski do that, put the pressure on him, try and get into the cage, except Bartosz Fabinski is going to go for the takedown and not just push him back up in the cage and look for a strike, because that's exactly what Taylor Johnson did against Andre Muniz, and he got dropped with the right hand. Taylor Johnson was able to get top position, I don't know how, and he was able to try to put some strikes down, and then he got reversed, and then he got choked out. So the thing that makes the difference for me is Bartosz Fabinski's top pressure may be one of the best, right, that I've looked at, because this dude gets on top of you and does not let you get up. And I'm really looking to see that if he can do that. This one's pretty close for me just because of the jiu-jitsu style of Andre Muniz. This dude can pull out anything. He's got triangle chokes. So, hey, maybe Fabinski gets on top of him, and then Andre Muniz makes the legs rise up and get that triangle choke synced in. But I'm going to have to go with Fabinski on this one. I just think that takedown pressure is just really, really good. He's got the gas tank for it. He's got the striking for it. I really think that this is a good matchup. Not so much for either fighter, but for me mostly. But I think it's a good matchup for Fabinski when you're talking about getting it to the ground, because a lot of BJJ fighters like to bring it to the ground because they want to see if they can get their submissions to go the way they want. And if Muniz is planning on doing that, I don't think it's a really good plan, because I don't think Fabinski is going to want to or going to be. I think he'll be wary of the submission attempts. He's a ground type fighter. He typically gets TKO victories by ground and pound, albeit he's had mostly decisions in his last fight. His last 5 wins all coming by a decision. His last loss was a submission via guillotine choke against Michel Prazeres in 2018. So we saw the Cage Warriors fight with Darren Stewart, and Darren Stewart in the middleweight division right now is looking very, very good. So Fabinski in this one, man, like I mentioned, I'm expecting him to take him to the ground and kind of keep it there, and maybe even get a TKO victory by ground and pound. So we'll see, and I'll pass it on to Zach.
Got to go deal with your dog. Anyway, Bartosz Fabinski has been a model of inconsistency. Not in terms of his fighting ability, but when he fights. This dude, watching him fight, is a very rare commodity. He got a couple fights in 2015. Then in 2018, he comes back, has 2 fights in 2018, and then he comes back in March of 2020 to fight Darren Stewart, and that's a lot of time off. And we saw the best version of Bartosz Fabinski that we have ever seen. He took Darren Stewart down to the ground and beat the brakes off of him. Just absolute ground domination. And when he wants to get it there, One thing you want to watch out for when you're talking about Bartosz Fabinski is those judo throws. Man, oh man, is Fabinski's judo just absolutely incredible to watch. And with his wrestling pedigree, yeah, it's something to see for sure. And I honestly have to go with Fabinski again, just like you did. And Muniz in his UFC debut, absolute sleeper of a fight against Antonio Arroyo. That fight was not very exciting at all. But we know about his jiu-jitsu game, and we know how dynamic he is off of his back. And that would be good if the top pressure of Bartosz Fabinski wasn't so crippling. He gets on there, and it is so tough. He is called the Butcher as his nickname, and that is very, very accurate. He will go and he will chop away at you, and it's very, very hard to get him off of you. That's just, it speaks to his style, his just grinding, just messy, and he'll open his opponents up, bloody style. It's honestly, Bartosz Fabinski, now that he's come back, I think we've seen a new version of him. And at middleweight, I think that we're going to see a new contender in the middleweight division rising into those ranks soon. I know this is some pretty high praise on the guy who barely ever fights, but I genuinely thinking that he deserves it. So if Muniz wins this fight, his only hope is by submission. And you always want to value the guy that has more paths to victory. So and that means at the end of the day, I got Bartosz Fabinski to win this fight. I've been calling a lot of decisions, but I think this is also going to go to a decision. It will not next fight, though.
Yeah, so now that my dog is shut up, I can mention a point that I wanted to mention before I had to go on mute. I think that, honestly, Fabinski's got some striking game that is going to match up against Muniz as well. Looking at Muniz's only 4 wins, all come by knockout, albeit I haven't seen them. Maybe they're by TKO, by ground and pound, but it's kind of a lose-lose scenario by whichever way it is, because if you lose by ground and pound, hey, Fabinski's very good at ground and pound. And then if you lose by standing up knockout, Fabinski's probably got the advantage either way. So looking forward to this one. I really want to see some ground game and get some really nice transitions. I feel like it's been a while. And to be honest, Lawler Magny was a pretty good transition BJJ ground game style, which I didn't really expect. But we both got Fabinski in this one. We're keeping the agreements going. Make sure you guys are also checking out the other Fight Big videos and liking the videos. Like I mentioned, we want to see what you guys have to say. So like I said, make sure you guys check out the other Fight Big videos.